Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei tacitly admits Iran hit little in strikes on Israel. Zelensky welcomes US aid package, saying aid must reach the front line. Iran's supreme leader Khamenei tacitly acknowledged that Iran's drone and missile strike in Israel didn't hit very much. He dismissed the question at a meeting with the country's senior military, broadcast on Iranian state TV. Israeli media claimed that 99% of Iranian drones and missiles were shot down, with the rest causing only minor damage.
اینی که طرف مقابل بحث پیش بیاره که چند تا موشک زدن، چند تاش خورد، چند تاش نخورد، اینا مسائل در دست دومه. مسئله اول ظهور قدرت اراده ملت ایران و نیروهای نظامی ایران در یه عرصه مهم بین‌المللی است.
Iran launched hundreds of drones and missiles seeking to overwhelm Israel's defense systems 2 weeks ago. World's analysts have noted that both Iran and Israel did not press too much on the matter, saying that this could be an attempt of the two countries trying to avoid regional escalation. The head of Israel's military intelligence service, Aharon Haliva, has resigned over failures linked to the deadly Hamas attack on the country on the 7th of October. Major General Aharon Haliva is the first senior figure to step down over the surprise raid. In his resignation letter, he said he would carry the Black Day with him forever. Israeli defense forces were caught off guard on the 7th of October when Hamas militants surged into Israel, killing some 1,200 people. Experts say Haliva's resignation could pave the way for more of Israel's top security to step down. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has not acknowledged direct responsibility for allowing the attack to unfold. Despite growing protests in Tel Aviv for a re-election, he has also indicated that he will not step down. Zelensky welcomed an €89 billion aid package that passed through the House of Representatives. The bulk will be allocated to Ukraine, with the rest going to countries like Israel and Taiwan. Voting in the US Senate is expected on Tuesday. Zelensky warned that the package should be passed soon in order to reach the front line.
Цей час між політичними рішеннями і реальними ураженнями ворога на фронті, між затвердженням пакету і силою наших хлопців, час має бути максимально коротким. І сила саме такою, яка дійсно може змінити ситуацію на передовій.
In Prague, residents staged a flash mob acting out the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The volunteers promoted the so-called Estonian plan, urging Western countries to commit 0.25% of their GDP in order to help Ukraine defeat Russia. The plan has been promoted by the Estonian Ministry of Defense.
The official EU election campaign in Hungary started on Saturday, which means candidates can now start collecting voters. Both the municipal and European Parliament elections will be held on the same day. The Fidesz party decided to hold them together in order to cut costs. Election experts say that the opposition have very few options to promote their campaign, due to the media being vastly controlled by the current government.
A Fidesz holdudvarához tartozó cégek tulajdonában van a legtöbb kampányeszköz. Ugye döntően a média, amely 430 cégből a kesmába van egyesítve. Az óriás plakátok is döntően a Fidesz holdudvarához tartoznak, tehát az ellenzéknek egyébként is kevés lehetősége van. Azonban az elektronikus média, amely ugye döntően a közösségi médiából áll, az elvileg szabad, csak hogy a kormány bevásárolja őket állampénzért, amit az adófizetők adnak össze a magán szférába, a magán hirdetései.
There is an international effort to ensure that European Parliament elections are ethical, as there is speculation in several member states.
Az európai parlamenti választásra 12 országnak a különféle Európa parlamenti pártjai szövetséget kötöttek, egy etikai kódexet írtak alá. Ezt Magyarországról nem írta alá senki. Ez nem egy túl jó hír. A másik újdonság, hogy a legfelsőbb bírósághoz összpontosították az összes választási ügy elbírálását. Most ez azért jelent problémát, mert az elmúlt 4 éves periódusban, ha véletlenül a Nemzeti Választási Bizottság mégis egy-két ügyben az igazság mellett döntött, akkor azt a kúria elgázolta. Tehát én jó dolgokra nem számítok a magyar jogállamiság helyreállításában.
According to experts, campaigning is increasingly moving online due to the older generations also learning how to use the internet, influenced by the younger generations like their grandchildren.
По это объекты коммунальными трубицы соберет постоянно.
Residents and authorities in Russia's southern regions of Tyumen and Kurgan have rushed to strengthen dams and fortify riverbanks after more flood warnings were issued. Russia and parts of neighbouring Kazakhstan have been dealing with some of the worst flooding in living memory. It's believed to have been caused by a mixture of snowmelt and heavy rain. Local media say that at least 20,000 people have been evacuated from both Tyumen and Kurgan.
The Earth Day is celebrated every April 22nd since 1970. This year's theme is Planet versus Plastic. A non-profit organization, the Ocean Cleanup, announced it had made a largest ever plastic catch in a river in Guatemala, preventing the waste from reaching the Caribbean Sea. 272 truckloads of trash were caught in the Rio Las Vegas.
You cannot get out the plastic of the ocean. You may be able to retrieve plastic articles near the coastline. You can collect it from beaches or from riverbanks, but once it's in the ocean, it's lost, because a lot of it actually sinks to the seafloor or makes it to very remote beaches where nobody lives.
A new report commissioned by the WWF and carried out by scientists in Germany projects that plastic pollution in the world's ocean could quadruple by 2050. Researchers found out that concentrations of microplastics above a dangerous threshold were already measured in the Mediterranean, the East China, the Yellow Seas and the Arctic sea ice. 88% of marine species studied were found to be negatively impacted by plastic.
Europe is warming more rapidly than any other continent, according to new research from Copernicus, the EU's climate monitoring service. 2023 was marked by unprecedented heat waves, fires and flooding. Overall, temperatures were 1.1% above average.
We are already living in a climate that is fundamentally different from the climate our civilization evolved and us as a people grew up in. And this new climate is, often we talk about uncharted territory, because it's true. We have never seen the sea so warm or so high in our lifetime.
Temperatures are rising at twice the global average. It's also much wetter, leading to a complex mix of extremes within the continent.
Look at the Europe as a whole. In terms of precipitation, it was 7% above average as a whole. But that's a complex figure, because while northern Germany or part of the Scandinavian or even the Balkans have seen a rather wet year as a whole, or the British Isles for what it matters. If you look at Andalusia or Catalonia or southern France, then the situation was much dire.
Scientists say that the extreme weather events will become more frequent, and planning to cope with them all will be challenging.
We expect there to be wilder swings, in fact, between hot and dry and wet conditions. So swings between wet and dry becoming wilder. And of course, this is really difficult to plan for, because it's much easier to plan your infrastructure and the way society goes about its business, but to have expected conditions over the year and to get even rainfall rather than coming in fits and starts.
From rising sea temperatures to melting glaciers, Europe is witnessing the worst effects of global warming. The Copernicus researchers say that unless the trend is reversed, these impacts are only going to get worse.
The 44th Artivento Cervia Kite Festival has kicked off in northern Italy. It's the longest running international festival dedicated to kites in the world. Over 250 artists and international aerobatic flight champions from 50 countries will be taking part in the event that runs until May the 1st.